Welcome to Rock DIY, or Do It You. If you do it, then it's all you. It may look like the bit is warped in the video, but it is actually caused by the oval ring on the chuck and the gradual rise and fall of the curved plastic under the oval ring as it is turned against the cam pin. The following pictures are of the bit in the split point port after the bit has been set up in the chuck and placed in the alignment port at various settings. Inside the split point port, the tip of the bit is centered on the top back side of the diamond sharpening wheel. These pictures should give you a good idea of what the bit looks like when it's in the split point port after making adjustments to the chuck on the alignment port. Sharpening a masonry bit is going to be a little bit of a different process. In this case, the alignment port will not be used at all. The first thing you got to do is make sure that the point angle adjustment plate is set to 118 instead of 135. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take the chuck, and on the very top side there's a scribed line that goes straight across. So when you put your masonry bit inside the chuck, you want to ensure that the bit is lined up with those scribed lines on both sides, and then loosely tighten it. But you want to ensure that you can still slide the bit in and out. And then you want to leave about a ½ inch of the bit sticking out the end of the chuck. Then what you're going to do is make sure that either one of the white lines is at the very top you put it into the sharpening port. And make sure it's at the very top. Then what you're going to do is make sure that the bit is touching the sharpening wheel, and then you're going to tighten the chuck. Don't tighten it down completely because there's a chance that it may not be lined up on the opposite end of the chuck. But you then take it off, check to verify that it's lined up with the scribe lines, and in this case it's slightly off. So open it just a little bit or loosen it. Turn the bit so that it's in line. Tighten it down. Put it back on the sharpening port. Verify that the bit was touching the sharpening wheel. Verifying again that it's lined up. Tightening it down a little bit more. To sharpen is make sure that the white line is lined up with the cam pin at the top. And then what you're going to do is plunge it. You're not going to turn it at all as you would with other drill bits. You're just going to plunge it straight in with the white line on the cam pin. And then once you're done with one side, pull it out, rotate it around, make sure the white line is lined up with the cam pin, and then you're just going to plunge it again and then check to see whether the masonry bit is sharpening or not. After plunging the bit, pulling it out, and then rotating it, plunging it again, inspect your bit to see whether it's sharpening, and then put it back in, plunge it, and continue to plunge it until you no longer hear grinding. Once it stops grinding, then you know that the bit should be sharpened. If you inspect it and see that it isn't sharp, then you're going to have to readjust the bit from the very beginning. The time that you plunge the masonry bit, you want to make sure that the white tick mark is lined up with the cam pin. And then when you do plunge, make sure that the cam stays against the cam pin when you're plunging, because if you're off, or if you're canting down or changing each plunge, then what you're doing is changing the cut on the masonry bit. So always ensure that you're staying against that cam pin as you're plunging. Thanks for watching the video. I truly appreciate it. I hope this product review assists you in deciding if the product meets your needs and whether you want to purchase it. Please like, comment, or subscribe. Thanks again.